The art of deception. Why lies build empires today? I will teach you why lies build empires, and why the truth, naked and raw, has never ruled a single kingdom. You were taught to despise deception, to cling to honesty as if it were a virtue. And yet, when you look at the pages of history, when you gaze upon the monuments of power, you will see that every throne was raised not upon truth, but upon illusion. The crown is forged in fire, yes, but it is worn because of belief, and belief is the most exquisite deception of them all. Do not mistake me. I am not here to flatter your morality. I am here to awaken your ambition, for the world is not ruled by the honest, but by the cunning. Empires are not built by those who tell the truth, but by those who understand the hunger of men and feed them the lies they wish to taste. And yet, you must not recoil, because this lesson is not merely for kings and tyrants. It is for you, whoever you are. Leader, dreamer, warrior, creator, broken soul, ambitious mind. Your life itself is a battlefield, and if you would triumph, you must learn that deception is not evil. It is survival. Truth is a candle. Lies are the sun. The candle flickers and comforts, but the sun blinds and governs all. You may ask, but is not truth sacred? Should we not build upon honesty? To this I say, men do not crave truth. They crave meaning. They crave stories. They crave hope, even if it is gilded in falsehood. Consider this. A general tells his weary soldiers that reinforcements are coming at dawn, though none march on the road. That lie keeps their swords in hand, their courage alight, their lives intact. And if the dawn comes and they win, was the lie not nobler than the truth? This is the paradox of power. Deception, in the right hands, does not corrupt, it creates. But listen carefully, for here lies the danger. A lie is a blade. Wield it without mastery, and it will cut your own hand. To deceive requires art, precision, and restraint. For one lie can topple kingdoms, but another can crown you king. Thus, if you are to walk the path I reveal, you must not be reckless. You must be deliberate, as the sculptor with his chisel, as the serpent with its venom. Remember this dagger of wisdom. The one who controls perception controls reality. Now, let me lift you higher, for I know your heart yearns not only for survival, but for greatness. What is greatness if not the courage to shape reality itself, to stand among the timid and declare, "The world will be as I say it shall be." This is the fire of ambition, and it burns not in the safe, but in the daring. Do not cower before the morality of the herd. For sheep demand honesty, but lions hunt with cunning. You know why so many live and die forgotten? Because they cling to honesty as though it were virtue, when in truth it is a chain. They speak plainly, they expose their hearts, they reveal their strategies, and thus they are devoured by those who cloak their intentions. A king does not tell you what he desires. He shows you what you must believe. A conqueror does not announce his plans. He strikes when his enemy is lulled by false peace. A creator does not confess his doubts. He presents his vision as destiny itself. Those who bear their souls are crucified. Those who cloak them in mystery are worshipped. Understand this rhythm of the world. What is seen is stronger than what is the you think religions endure because they reveal all truth. No, they endure because they conceal mystery. They inspire awe. They paint heavens and hells that none have seen, yet millions believe. Do you think rulers hold power because they are good men? No, they hold power because they appear necessary, inevitable, chosen. And do you think love itself survives because it is pure? No, it survives because each lover tells the other the sweetest lies, that beauty will never fade, that loyalty will never falter, that desire will never die. Thus, if you would master life, you must master illusion. For it is not truth that binds men, it is belief. And belief is a lie embraced so deeply that it becomes reality. Yet, I do not teach you deception to make you a tyrant. No, I teach you because the world is already cloaked in masks, and if you do not wear one, you will be enslaved by those who do. I would rather see you a master of lies than a victim of them. To the dreamer, I say, cloak your doubt in confidence until your vision takes root. To the warrior, I say, cloak your fear in courage until victory is yours. To the leader, I say, Cloak your ambition and virtue until men kneel at your command. For this is the paradox. Lies, wielded with wisdom, become the greatest truth of all. But I will not leave you only with shadows. I will also give you fire. For deception alone cannot sustain an empire. It must be married with purpose, with will, with resilience. A liar without strength is a jester. A liar with strength is a ruler. And strength is not merely of the arm, but of the spirit. You must burn with such determination that even your falsehoods are baptized into truth. Listen closely. Destiny favors not the honest, but the bold. Consider Caesar, who marched upon Rome not with permission, but with audacity. His enemies called him traitor, his allies called him reckless. Yet he cloaked ambition in necessity, betrayal in salvation, tyranny in reform. And when the people gazed upon him, they did not see a man who broke the republic. They saw the savior of Rome. His enemies knew the truth. The people believed the lie, and history crowned him eternal. Tell me, would you rather be remembered as a liar who forged an empire, or forgotten as an honest man who built nothing? Do not recoil. I see in your eyes the struggle, the clash between the morality you were taught and the hunger that burns within. That is good, for no transformation is born without conflict. You must kill the innocence that keeps you weak, and yet preserve the purity of your vision that makes you unique. This is the dual path, serpent and lion, mask and flame, deception and destiny. Only by walking both do you ascend. Now ask yourself, when men look upon you, do they see what you truly are, or what you allow them to see? If you show them your soul, they will crucify you. If you show them a mask, they will follow you. Which will you choose? Remember this. He who wears the mask longest becomes the mask, and is that not the essence of creation itself? The sculptor pretends his block of stone is a god until the god appears. The writer pretends his tale is alive until it breathes. The leader pretends he is chosen until the people choose him. All greatness begins with deception of others, yes, but first, of oneself. Believe your destiny even as it seems false, and the world will bend to your conviction. The weak call it delusion. The strong call it faith. The wise call it strategy. And so I tell you, do not be ashamed of illusion. For every empire is built upon it. Every company, every movement, every legend. Even the life you now live is stitched together by the lies. You tell yourself each day that you are safe, that tomorrow is promised, that love is eternal. Strip away the illusions, and men would go mad. But weave them well, and men will build cities, wage wars, and write poetry in their honor. Lies are not poison. They are the wine that keeps mankind intoxicated with meaning. And yet, you must never confuse deception with cowardice. The coward lies to escape. The master lies to create. The coward deceives to hide his weakness. The master deceives to wield strength. This distinction will decide whether your lies destroy you or immortalize you. So I ask you again, are you ready to shape the world, or will you let the world shape you? Do not forget, every man wears a mask. The question is not whether you will wear one, but whether you will shape yours with artistry or let others paint it for you. To live without a mask is to live exposed, vulnerable, a lamb in a forest of wolves. But to craft your mask is to become the wolf yourself, cloaked in the skin of divinity, destiny, or virtue. A mask, while forged, does not merely conceal, it transforms. When a ruler appears merciful, he becomes mercy in the eyes of his people. When a general appears invincible, his enemies tremble before his shadow more than his sword. When a creator appears visionary, the world rushes to catch up with the future he has already declared. In this, perception is not the enemy of reality. It is the foundation of reality. And those who fail to understand this spend their lives chasing truth while the masters shape it. Etch this into your mind. It is not reality that rules men. It is the appearance of reality. But you protest. Will not the truth be revealed? Will not the lie collapse? Foolish question. All truths are temporary. Even the greatest truths, empires, religions, sciences, crumble with time, only to be replaced by new illusions men call truth. What was blasphemy yesterday becomes scripture today. What was madness yesterday becomes invention tomorrow. The Lie you tell today may well become the truth men worship tomorrow. Consider the architect of every great myth. Did he know the future? No. He believed, or pretended to believe, with such force that others surrendered their doubt. And when doubt is drowned, truth is born. This is why the deceiver, if bold enough, does not merely survive the ages, he defines them. But let us descend for a moment into the darker corridors, for power is never without shadow. You must learn not only to deceive, but to protect yourself from the deception of others. The world is a theater, yes, but every actor believes himself the star. Every merchant, every politician, every lover, each plays their role, weaving illusions for advantage. If you are naive, you will applaud their performance even as they strip you of crown, coin, or heart. But if you are wise, you will watch the flicker of their eyes, the hesitation in their voice, the cracks in their mask. Mark this dagger of survival. Trust is the currency of fools. Vigilance is the wealth of kings. And yet, you cannot live without trust, can you? A general must trust his lieutenants. A lover must trust his beloved. A leader must trust his advisors. But listen well. Trust not in men, but in their interests. For men betray easily, but their hunger rarely changes. Align with their hunger, and you hold them. Feed it, and you own them. Deny it, and they will sell you for silver. This is why betrayal wounds only the innocent. The wise see betrayal not as treachery, but as a transaction of interest. But you did not come to me only for shadows. You came for fire. And so let me ignite your spirit once more. Do not imagine that deception belongs only to the powerful. No, it belongs to every soul who dares to rise above despair. Are you crushed? Then cloak your despair in laughter until you heal. Are you weak? Then cloak your weakness in discipline until strength is born. Are you unknown? Then cloak your obscurity in vision until the world cannot ignore you. Listen to me. You must wear the crown of your destiny long before the world places it on your head. This is not arrogance. It is necessity. For men follow certainty, not hesitation. They follow fire, not sparks. If you appear destined, they will declare you destined. If you hesitate, they will bury you in the dirt of their doubt. Tell me, which is more dangerous, to lie to the world, or to betray yourself by admitting defeat too soon? History is a graveyard of men who were honest about their doubts. But it is also a pantheon of liars who dared to proclaim their inevitability. Napoleon, penniless and mocked, called himself chosen before he was anything. Alexander, young and untested, declared himself divine before the world believed. Every creator, every leader, every visionary has spoken lies of greatness before greatness was visible. And yet, by speaking them long enough, by acting them long enough, by burning with them fiercely enough, they became true. Ask yourself, what lie will you dare to tell today that will become tomorrow's truth? But let me sharpen the blade once more. Lies are not toys. They are weapons, and weapons spill blood. If you wield them without wisdom, you will drown in the blood they spill. Deception without discipline becomes chaos. Manipulation without restraint becomes madness. The deceiver must know when to speak and when to be silent, when to cloak and when to reveal, when to strike and when to vanish. The most powerful lie is not spoken, it is implied. The most dangerous deception is not what you invent, but what you allow others to believe on their own. Remember, silence is often the most eloquent deception. Do you understand? When you speak, men may doubt you. But when you are silent, men fill the silence with their own illusions, and they believe them more fiercely than anything you could invent. This is the secret of enigma. To be mysterious is to allow others to write your legend for you. What they invent will always be greater than what you confess. And yet, never forget that deception must be matched with power. Illusion alone cannot sustain an empire. If the mask slips and there is no substance beneath, you will be devoured. A king who pretends to be merciful must also have armies to punish rebellion. A creator who pretends to be visionary must also deliver creations that change the world. A warrior who pretends to be fearless must also fight with courage when the blade strikes. The mask must be anchored in reality, or it will shatter. Therefore, I command you, lie, but also build. Deceive, but also create. Mask yourself, but also sharpen the sword beneath the mask. For deception without strength is illusion, and strength without deception is wasted. Only together do they forge destiny. Tell me, do you wish merely to survive, or to rule, to endure, or to ascend? If it is survival you seek, then a few lies will suffice. But if it is empire you desire, whether an empire of land, or wealth, or art, or spirit, then you must embrace deception not as a trick, but as a way of life. And here I leave you, for now, with this truth disguised as a lie, or perhaps a lie disguised as truth. The world has never been ruled by honesty, only by those who mastered the masks men wish to see. And yet, let us wander further into the corridors of ambition. You imagine that deception is something external, something you do to others. But the greatest art of deception begins not outwardly, but inwardly. Tell me, how many of your dreams have you killed with your own honesty? How many times have you whispered to yourself, I am not ready. I am not strong enough. I am not worthy. These confessions, honest though they may seem, are daggers you plunge into your own heart. You need not wait for enemies to destroy you if you are so eager to betray yourself. Therefore, learn this. The first lie you must master is the lie you tell yourself. Call yourself great before the world sees greatness. Call yourself unbreakable before the storm comes. Call yourself chosen before destiny arrives. For the man who believes his own deception becomes unstoppable. Doubt collapses before conviction. Fear dissolves before faith. And when you lie to yourself long enough, the universe itself conspires to fulfill the story you have declared. Some will call this madness. Others will call it arrogance. But history calls it genius. Do you think Michelangelo did not deceive himself when he looked at a block of marble and saw a god imprisoned within it? Do you think explorers did not deceive themselves when they looked at an endless ocean and saw a world beyond? Every act of creation is an act of deception, an illusion declared so fiercely it becomes real. But be warned. Self-deception without discipline is delusion. To lie to yourself without action is to rot in fantasy. The true art is to deceive yourself into strength. If you say you are a lion, then rise and fight like one. If you say you are destined, then work until destiny bows before you. Do not mistake words for weapons. The lie only becomes truth when you breathe life into it with blood, sweat, and fire. And so I ask you, when you awaken tomorrow, what mask will you wear for yourself? The mask of weakness or the mask of destiny? The world will treat you according to the mask you choose. Now, let us return to the theater of men. I tell you this with certainty. People do not desire truth, they desire comfort. They will tell you they crave honesty, but give them truth too raw and they will crucify you for it. Tell a man his wife no longer loves him, and he will call you cruel. Tell him she is faithful while she strays, and he will call you friend. Thus, truth is rarely rewarded. It is the sweet lie, or the half-truth dressed in silk, that men cherish most. This is why leaders must deceive, not out of malice, but out of necessity. A people cannot be governed by reality alone, for reality is brutal, uncertain, and cold. They must be given dreams, visions, myths. They must be told that tomorrow will be brighter, that sacrifice is noble, that suffering has meaning. These are lies, perhaps, but without them, nations would collapse into despair. So do not judge deception too harshly. Sometimes the sweetest lie is the only rope that keeps humanity from drowning. Remember this. Men do not follow truth. They follow stories. And if you would rise, you must become a storyteller. Not a teller of facts, but a weaver of meaning. Facts are dust, forgotten with time. Stories are fire, carried through the ages. The deceiver who weaves a story larger than life does not merely rule in his lifetime. He rules in eternity. But hear me, do not confuse storytelling with falsehood. The greatest stories contain a seed of truth. A lie, to endure, must be wrapped around a truth men already believe. A king may claim divine favor, but only because his people already believe in God's. A general may claim destiny, but only because his soldiers already believe in glory. A creator may claim his work will change the world, but only because his audience already hungers for change. The lie succeeds not because it is false, but because it resonates with the truth men wish to believe. Thus, I tell you, the most powerful lie is the truth, exaggerated. Now, Let us turn to betrayal, for you cannot study deception without confronting this most bitter fruit. You will be betrayed, and you will betray. This is the law of power. But betrayal, though it tastes like poison, is in truth the proof of your significance. No man betrays the insignificant. Betrayal is the price of being needed, the tax of being desired, the consequence of being feared. If you are betrayed, rejoice, for it means you mattered enough to be worth deceiving, but do not be naive. You too will betray. You will betray promises for ambition, betray comfort for destiny, betray friends for survival. Do not imagine yourself above it. Betrayal is the movement of history itself. The son betrays the father to found a dynasty. The disciple betrays the master to create a new faith. The nation betrays its past to embrace the future. Betrayal is not an end. It is the beginning of transformation. Mark this. Betrayal is the shadow that walks beside greatness. And yet, in this shadow, there is also light. For betrayal, though it wounds, also awakens. When you are betrayed, you learn the truth of loyalty, that it is rare, precious, and fragile. When you betray, you learn the truth of ambition, that it is ruthless, hungry, and unyielding. Do not fear betrayal. Fear only insignificance, for the insignificant are neither betrayed nor remembered, but enough of shadows. Let us once more ignite the fire of destiny. For what use is deception if not to rise, if not to conquer, if not to live a life that echoes through eternity? To deceive without purpose is vanity. To deceive with destiny is glory. Ask yourself, what empire will you build? Perhaps not of stone and steel, but of art, of influence, of vision, of spirit. Whatever your empire, it will not stand on truth alone. It will stand on the lies you craft into myths, the masks you forge into legends, the deceptions you breathe into destiny. Do not shrink from this calling. The timid cling to honesty because it spares them responsibility. If they fail, they say, I was honest. But the bold embrace deception because it grants them creation. If they succeed, they say, I was inevitable. Which will you be, the honest failure or the deceptive creator? And now, let me whisper to your soul the most dangerous secret of all. You are already deceiving, even now. You pretend to be smaller than you are, weaker than you are, less destined than you are. You call this humility, but it is deception nonetheless. If you are to lie, then lie grandly. Do not pretend to be ordinary. Pretend to be extraordinary until you no longer pretend. You see now, don't you? You see that deception is not merely a weapon, but the breath of survival, the marrow of creation, the secret heartbeat of destiny. Still, you hesitate. Still, a shadow clings to you. This voice of conscience that whispers, but is it right? Let me crush that hesitation with fire. The world does not reward the righteous. It rewards the victorious. History is not written by saints, but by survivors. Morality is written not in heaven, but in the ink of those who you think Alexander paused to ask if his conquest was moral? Do you think Cleopatra weighed the ethics of her seductions? Do you think Churchill or Washington built nations by telling their people the naked truth of despair? No, they deceived. They inspired. They bent truth until it served their cause. And because they did, you speak their names even now. So I ask you, would you rather live as an honest man buried in the dust of anonymity, or as a deceiver whose name echoes across centuries? Remember this dagger of fire. Posterity does not care how you won, only that you did. But let me drag you deeper still, into the essence of human nature. Men are weak, and because they are weak, they crave strong illusions. They want gods to protect them, leaders to guide them, lovers to comfort them, dreams to sustain them. If you can give them these illusions, they will give you their loyalty, their labor, their lives. And what are these illusions if not lies dressed as truth? The gods you invoke may not speak, but men hear them in your voice. The destiny you proclaim may be smoke, but men see it as fire. Thus, the deceiver is not merely a manipulator. He is a creator of worlds. For the masses do not live by bread alone. They live by belief. And belief is deception that has been baptized into meaning. But beware, never insult the intelligence of men with lies too crude. A lie must flatter the heart, even if it insults the mind. It must feel like truth, even if it is not. To deceive is not to declare absurdities, but to weave possibilities so intoxicating that men long to believe them. The greatest liars are not those who speak falsehood, but those who awaken hope. Mark this. A believable lie is stronger than an unbelievable truth, yet I sense your weariness. You ask, must I always wear masks? Must I always play this game? Yes, for even the rejection of deception is itself a deception. The monk who renounces the world still deceives himself that he has conquered desire. The cynic who rejects belief still believes in his own rejection. To live is to deceive, whether you admit it or not. The only choice is whether you will deceive blindly or with mastery. And now we must confront the twin pillars of power, fear and love. Every ruler, every leader, every soul who commands others must decide which path to emphasize. Love is fragile, volatile, easily lost. Fear is durable, loyal, slow to fade. The honest will tell you to be loved. I, Niccolò, tell you that fear, when balanced with respect, binds men longer than love ever can. For love is given freely, but fear is carved into memory. And what is memory, if not the chain by which men are ruled? But do not mistake cruelty for fear. A tyrant who rules only with terror dies swiftly. A master deceiver balances the mask of love with the shadow of fear. Show mercy, but let mercy feel like a gift only you can give. Show kindness, but let kindness feel like a mask that can be removed. In this way, men love you as long as it is easy, and fear you enough to stay when love dies. Etch this into your bones. Fear secures where love falters. And yet, I do not teach fear to make you cruel, but to make you unbreakable. For the world itself is cruel. It respects strength, not weakness, audacity, not timidity. If you would command destiny, you must wield both fire and shadow, both smile and dagger. One without the other is death. Now lift your eyes higher. Enough of masks and betrayals. Let us speak of destiny. For what is the purpose of deception, if not to carve a throne in the chaos of existence? To live without ambition is to crawl. To live with ambition is to soar, even if you fall. You must ask yourself, why are you alive? To breathe, to eat, to fade? Or to build something so vast, so luminous, that centuries will remember? Destiny is not given. It is seized. And it is seized not by honesty, but by audacity. The man who waits for destiny to reveal itself dies waiting. The man who declares destiny, who lies until the lie becomes fate, bends the world to his will. Do not wait. Proclaim. Do not beg. Command. Do not hope. Become. Listen to me. Greatness belongs not to those who deserve it, but to those who declare it. And do not imagine you are too small. Every titan began as dust. Every empire began as whispers. Every god began as a story. What separates the forgotten from the eternal is not size, not strength, not virtue. It is will. Will wrapped in deception, sharpened by resilience, crowned by ambition. Now I return you to the battlefield of daily life. You may not command armies or nations, but you command something far greater, yourself. And within you rages the eternal war between weakness and strength, honesty and deception, despair and ambition. You have been taught to surrender to the voice of weakness. Today I call you to war against it. Lie to your weakness. Tell it you are stronger than it thinks. Lie to your despair. Tell it you are destined for heights it cannot imagine. Lie to your fear. Tell it you are already victorious. For in this war, your lies are not poison. They are armor, and slowly, as you fight, the lies become truth. And the truth becomes empire. But still, let me wound you once more, for wounds awaken. Hear this truth, you will die. No deception can save you from the grave. Your body will rot. Your name may fade. Your empire may crumble. Death is the one truth that cannot be lied away. Yet here lies the triumph of deception. Though you die, your myth may live. Though your flesh turns to dust, your story may burn for centuries. If you weave your lies well, if you cloak your life in destiny, then death itself will not silence you. Consider this. Men still kneel before gods they cannot prove existed. Men still study kings long turned to dust. Men still kill and die for illusions born millennia ago. And you fear that your lies will fade? No. If woven with fire, they will endure longer than your breath. So I tell you, embrace death not with despair, but with cunning. For though you cannot escape it, you can deceive it. You can cheat the grave with legacy. You can lie to time by engraving your story so deeply that centuries cannot erase it. Mark this eternal truth. Mortality is inevitable. Obscurity is a choice. And now, we come full circle. Why do lies build empires? Because men need them. Because truth alone is not enough. Because illusion moves armies, sustains nations, inspires lovers, crowns leaders, and creates legends. Without lies, there is no civilization, only chaos. Without masks, there is no order, only naked despair. Lies are not the opposite of truth. Lies are the architects of destiny. So I command you, weave your mask, forge your illusion, speak your destiny, until it becomes law. Deceive the world, deceive yourself, deceive even death itself. For this is not weakness. It is the highest art of survival, the noblest fire of creation. And as I depart, hear my final command, spoken not with request, but with authority. Bend your ear to me again. Return, follow, obey. For I am Machiavelli, and I have given you the keys to empires. You have tasted the wine of deception, and now you cannot return to water. The art of deception is the art of life itself. And if you would build your empire, then you must listen again, again, and again. Subscribe, not as a favor, but as a vow. For obedience is the first step on your path to power. Go now. Cloak yourself in fire, mask yourself in destiny, and build your empire upon the lies the world will one day call truth. But perhaps you still wonder, still tremble. Is deception not dangerous? Will it not consume me? Yes, it is dangerous. So is fire. So is the sword. So is ambition. Everything that grants power carries the seed of destruction. The weak avoid danger, and they avoid greatness. The strong embrace danger, and they master it. Deception is the same. If you wield it clumsily, it will destroy you. If you wield it with art, it will immortalize you. You must not merely lie, you must dance with lies. As a master swordsman dances with blades. One false step, and you bleed. But step well, and men will cheer your performance for generations. Take warning from history. There were those who lied without mastery and perished. Nero cloaked madness in art, but his mask cracked, and Rome burned him in memory. Robespierre cloaked tyranny in virtue, but the guillotine devoured him when his lies frayed. Beware excess. Beware lies so vast that no mask can conceal them. Deception must be a balance, fire that warms, but does not burn your own house. Etch this balance into your soul. A lie that blinds even its master is the deadliest poison of all, but I would not leave you trembling in fear. No, fear must be tempered with fire. For you are not meant to crawl among failures, but to rise among immortals. The very fact that you hear these words proves you are not ordinary. Ordinary men would have turned away already, muttering, too dark, too dangerous, too much. But you remain, eyes fixed upon the flame. That is the mark of destiny, and destiny demands that you rise, even if you cloak your rise in masks. Consider again the greatest of conquerors. Did they not all cloak themselves in illusions? Genghis Khan claimed the sky itself commanded him. Whether true or not, men believed it, and belief made him unstoppable. Joan of Arc claimed voices from heaven spoke to her. Whether madness or truth, she deceived even herself, and her fire lit France. Gandhi, gentle and unarmed, cloaked rebellion in nonviolence, and his illusion of frailty shattered an empire armed with steel. Each, in their own way, wielded deception not as crime, but as crown. Now tell me, what illusion will you wield? What story will you wrap around your name so tightly that men cannot separate you from it? For the truth of who you are matters little. What matters is the myth you become. Never forget this dagger. Men die, but myths command forever. And here lies another secret. Deception is not only the weapon of rulers, but of lovers. Do you not see? Love itself is built upon deception. The lover hides his flaws in the glow of romance. The beloved hides her doubts in promises of forever. Each tells the other, you are perfect, you are mine, you will never fade. Lies, all of them. And yet, Without these lies, love cannot endure. Love dies the moment the mask is ripped away. So even in the sweetest parts of life, deception sustains us. Why then should you shrink from it? The child believes his parents invincible. The people believe their leader immortal. The artist believes his creation eternal. All illusions, all lies, and yet all necessary. For without them, despair would devour mankind. Lies do not only build empires, they build hearts, homes, and hope. But beware again. The lies of love and friendship are the most delicate. They must be tended like gardens. Too many weeds of truth will kill them. Too much neglect, and they wither. You must learn when to speak the lie, when to let silence hold it, and when to allow truth to pierce just enough to keep the bond real. The balance is delicate, but mastery of it grants you not only power, but connection. Now let me plunge you into the deepest chamber of wisdom. You wish to rise, to command, to leave your mark, but understand this. You must first learn to see through lies. For if you are blinded by others' illusions, you are their puppet, not their master. Train your eye. Study men. Watch how they flatter, how they posture, how they plead. Listen not to their words, but to their silences. Feel the hunger behind their smiles. Every man wears a mask, but no mask is perfect. The eyes betray. The tone betrays. The timing betrays. Learn these cracks, and you will see truth beneath illusion. Write this into your bones. To master deception, you must first master detection. When you see through lies, you gain freedom. When you wield lies, you gain power. When you combine both, you become untouchable. And yet, let us not descend into paranoia. Too much suspicion will rot your soul. You must trust enough to move forward, yet remain vigilant enough to survive betrayal. This is the balance of power. Too much faith, and you are prey. Too much suspicion, and you are paralyzed. Walk the edge. Trust in interests, not in words. Believe in actions, not in promises. But now, let us rise again into fire. For enough of warnings, you did not come only to tremble. You came to awaken. So awaken. Rise. Burn. Declare yourself greater than the shadows that haunt you. You are not born merely to be a pawn in another's illusion. You are born to weave illusions of your own, to craft destiny, to cloak yourself in myth, to stand upon the ashes of doubt and declare yourself immortal. Shout this truth into the silence of your heart. I am not ordinary. I am inevitable. Do you feel it? The pulse in your chest, the fire in your eyes? That is destiny stirring, answering the call. Do not let it fade. Feed it with lies until it becomes truth. Feed it with ambition until it becomes empire. Feed it with courage until it becomes legend, for this is the essence of my teaching. Lies build empires not because they are false, but because they awaken belief. Belief moves men, men move mountains, mountains shape history. If you would shape history, you must begin with belief, and belief is nothing but a lie you refuse to abandon. So go now. Lie to the world until the world bends. Lie to yourself until you no longer lie. Cloak your weakness in strength until strength is born. Cloak your doubt in certainty until certainty is law. Cloak your mortality in myth until myth is all that remains. For this is the art of deception. This is the secret that crowns emperors, that sustains lovers, that creates legends. Lies are not your enemy. Lies are your weapon. Lies are your foundation. Lies are the empire you will build. And now, I command you. Listen again. Return. Obey. For I, Niccolò Machiavelli, have opened the gates of power to you. Do not retreat into weakness. Do not slink back into honesty that kills. Step forward. Subscribe to this path, to this voice, to this destiny. Not as courtesy, but as oath. For obedience is the toll of empire, and empire is the prize of obedience. Take this mask. Take this fire. Take this command. And go build your empire of lies before someone else builds theirs upon you.